Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy Munson, and today we're going to talk about colds and flus. So first and foremost, to help the body work as efficiently as possible is to help that system that controls all functions, including our immune system. And that is your nervous system. And that is where chiropractic comes in and shines. When I have clients that understand their body well, they know at the first hint of a cold, they get adjusted immediately. It boosts the immune system. It helps coordinate action of the body to now eliminate all these things that have just been killed off in our body. And so it helps the body on all levels get better faster. And that's what we want. Regular care obviously keeps us from getting sick so often. And so I'm going to make a little mention of that there too. Next, nutrition. Nutrition is vitally important. Nutrition is what begins to give our body the nutrients available to help all these tissues clean out faster. In some of my previous videos, you have heard me talk about acidification. When we become too alkaline in our body, we now get sick more easily. And so the more fresh foods we eat, the more alkalinity that we can remove from the body and the less colds we get, as well as the more things we can remove damage-wise from the body. And so we get over colds much faster. I want to touch here a little bit on vitamin C. Vitamin C and other vitamins are very misjudged animals. Vitamin C we've always thought of as ascorbic acid. We looked on a bottle and we said, hey, I'm taking 1,000 milligrams of ascorbic acid. It's vitamin C. But when we look at the vitamin C complex, ascorbic acid is only about 5% of the vitamin C complex by weight. So the outer covering of the vitamin C complex is actually ascorbic acid. It was the first thing we found when we isolated the C complex. When we isolated ascorbic acid, we thought we had found the anti-scurvy factor. So we named it ascorbotic, or ascorbic acid. Well, when we started giving that to people who had scurvy, it didn't matter how much we gave them. They still had scurvy. We gave them such astronomical values of ascorbic acid that we thought it's impossible for them to still have scurvy, and they still did. But when we gave them just a little teaspoon of lemon juice, their scurvy went away. We realized we did not find the anti-scurvy factor, but we found something. And so the government said, hey, we label all vitamin C by its ascorbic acid content, which then the drug company said, well, we can manufacture ascorbic acid in a lab. And so they do. And what do we take, thinking we're taking a full complex vitamin C? We're just taking a very good preservative, a natural preservative, but that's all you're taking. So is it helpful with a cold? Well, yes and no. Because it is an acid, it's acidifying the gut, which we naturally want to do in an alkaline environment like a cold. So it is helping, but not for the reason that you think. It's not helping your immune system do one thing. So real vitamin C is, the core of it is tyrosinase. Tyrosinase is organic copper, and few people realize that. Not the stuff that's on our sink when we have a drip that's blue. That is copper, but that's a metallic copper. Not an organic copper that actually does something effective in the body called a cofactor. It speeds up enzymatic activity. That's what it does. And so it runs our immune system much faster. That's how we get over a cold better, quicker with true vitamin C. So that's a little tangent on vitamin C for you. Next is elimination. And we've talked about the main organ with elimination is liver. And so you're going to hear me say with liver many times that beets in the evening is what we want to do, and 1/8 of a beet. So anything that's going to promote liver detoxification we want to do. Next, I want to touch briefly on the mental side of a cold. What do we think when we get around somebody who's coughing and sneezing all over us? Oh goodness, I'm going to get a cold. And then we're going to start looking for ways that we're actually getting a cold. We will literally talk ourselves into getting a cold. It's crazy, but we'll do it. So I want to at least interject here a little bit. When you think you're getting a cold, please don't tell yourself that you are getting a cold, because that only magnifies it. We want to be positive in all areas of life, but we forget about being positive in the small things, or maybe where we don't think it's going to have a whole lot of effect. But believe it or not, you can reject a cold, or that there was an open window that you slept under, or whatever, who is coughing next to you in the car or a train or walking down the street. That doesn't matter. Your immune system is what matters. Nobody can make you sick. I know that sounds weird, but nobody can, because ultimately our body resists or doesn't resist a cold. Why is it that we have all these doctors and hospitals that work around sick people all day long and yet they don't get sick? Shouldn't they be among the sickest? Why don't they get a cold? Because their immune system is working and it's fending off all those things. Well, what if your immune system is working? You don't get sick either. It has no bearing on what people around you are doing. It has everything to do by what's going on inside the body. And that's key. Know that. Finally, I want to touch just briefly on the medical approach. This is the medical approach to colds, sicknesses, diseases. We want to change the environment to the ever-weakening body. We want to give you chemicals to suppress this or that or change things. But ultimately, chiropractic, through natural means and other natural providers, we seek the opposite, to strengthen the body to suit the ever-changing environment. That makes sense. The environment is always going to change. So we want to change with it, not suppress things or resist that change, but allow our body to adapt continually to that change. And that becomes absolutely important. And that is the vitalistic philosophy of chiropractic. So that's how things work. So that's colds and flus in a nutshell. Those of you that have questions, comments, please again email me from this website. For the rest of you, I'm Dr. Troy Munson, and remember, health is not by accident. It's created on purpose.